Hello, my name is Gavin McHale. I am a business performance coach, and it is my job to help you get out of your own way and earn the kind of money that you deserve. And what I want to talk to you about today is that I have been hearing so many coaches just fire all this bullshit out on podcasts, in their marketing, in coaching sessions, at live events. And it is so frustrating to me, the stuff that they say about mindset, and then they don't back it up with what to actually do. They give all these coaches, especially business coaches, I notice, they give all their clients and all these people in their audience these kind of false bullshit ideas about what they need to do, and then they don't help them with any of it. So I'm going to give you the three top things that I see coaches saying that are complete bullshit when it comes to mindset. And I want you to stick around to the end, because the third one is one that I have struggled with for a very long time through my hockey career and then into business coaching. And if you enjoy this video, please do me a favor. I'm trying to grow this channel and I want to reach more people just like you and help them. Please hit like, please hit subscribe so that I can help those people. Now, let's talk about the first piece of bullshit that coaches say about mindset. You need to change your mindset about X. What does that even mean? I heard this on a YouTube video today. Someone was talking about money problems and, how to fix your money problems, and saying you need to change your mindset about money. And then they just moved on to the next thing. Well, we need to figure out what your mindset is first so that we can actually change it. So let's talk about it. Let's say that you're struggling to make as much money as you want. You want to make more money. We know that mindset is a very important part of increasing your income, especially, going past what you've ever made in the past and going to places where you're not comfortable. So we need to figure out, what do you currently believe about money that's not serving you? Now, this can be related to anything, relationships, success, anything. What do you currently believe that's not serving you? So you need to ask yourself questions like, what class of society did you grow up in? What did your parents teach you about money? When you think about earning more money or having more clients, what scares you? And then on the greater scale, we need to talk about things like, what are you afraid of? What are the inflection points that happened in your life, good, bad, or otherwise? And what did you make that mean about yourself? What are the stories that you say about yourself and how you fit into the world? For lack of a better term, this is your identity, or this is your concept of yourself. Okay. Once we can answer those questions, then we can get a belief. We can actually work with a belief or a story that's not serving us. And once we have that belief or story, we can go through a process that I really like from someone named Byron Katie called The Work, to rewire that belief in our subconscious brain. Okay. Again, coaches are just out there spouting off saying you need to change your mindset, but they don't tell you how to change your mindset. They just say to do it. And that's not helpful at all. So what we do is, once we have this belief that's not serving us, we can go through Byron Katie's 4 questions. So you write down your belief that's not serving you. Question number 1 is this true? So you write down yes, no, or maybe. And if you write yes or maybe, you write all the evidence you have that this thing might be true. It's likely that it's not true, though. So the second question is more helpful, is, do you know this to be true without a shadow of a doubt? Is it a fact that you are not good enough, that more money brings more problems, that people will steal your money? Is it a fact? And we know it's not a fact. If we ever have any piece of evidence at all that it was not truth for someone else, then we can agree that it's a belief and it's a story and it's something you can change. So if we can change it, let's go about changing it. Question 3 from Byron Katie's 4 questions is, what happens when you buy into this belief? What happens? What do you do? What do you not do? Maybe more importantly, and how do you fall into a cycle of a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is what generally tends to happen, right? We procrastinate, or we don't do things we're supposed to do, or whatever, and we fall into a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. And question 4 is, what could happen if I chose to believe something different? If I chose to believe something different than what I believe now, what could happen? Because really, that's all it is. It's a choice. Okay. Now, once we've answered those questions, we can finish with a new truth. We can finish the sentence. The truth is what? Complete that sentence with something that serves you better, with something that allows you to take more action. Now, it doesn't have to be the opposite of the old belief, but it needs to be something that serves you better. Okay. And a bonus points go if you can say, the truth is, insert the new belief because, and you can share a piece of evidence you have that that belief is true. Okay. Fact is, the comment, you need to change your mindset on X is garbage. That is exactly how you actually change your mindset on something that's not serving you. Let's dive into number 2. The second one that just pisses me off so much is you need to be in a good emotional state as an entrepreneur every single day. This made me so angry. I heard a presenter say this at a live event last year and then just move on like it was nothing. If I hadn't have done the work that I've done, I would have been left there thinking, how the hell am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to get in a good emotional state as an entrepreneur? Okay. When I was younger, I was told time and time again to not let the bullies see my feelings. Okay. I was bullied in school and I was told, do not let the bullies see your feelings. Then when I was playing hockey, my dad always told me, my coaches always told me, don't let your opponents know what you're feeling. I've always been someone who's worn my emotions on my sleeve. The problem, though, is that all of this led me down a path where I even hid what I was feeling from myself. I didn't know how I was feeling. I lost my emotional awareness. And a lot of people have a very low level of what we call emotional intelligence. And whether you know what they are or not, whether you're aware of them or not, whether you know how to feel them or not, they will come out. And often, if you don't acknowledge them, your emotions will come out in negative ways that hurt you, hurt your relationships and the people you love, and hurt your business. So, how do we get into a good emotional state? How do we get into this wonderful emotional state that this presenter told everybody to get into and then didn't tell them how to get into it? The most important step that I'm going to teach you today is through awareness. We have to figure out what we're feeling. Okay. There's a great book called Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. And in it, she says that our emotions are our greatest interpreter of the world around us. And they really are. Our emotions are like a GPS system for if we are moving in the right direction towards where we want to go. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't take uncomfortable action, that you shouldn't do things that you don't necessarily want to do. But at the end of the day, if you are constantly feeling a certain way, there's probably something that you need to pull the thread on to learn more about. But if you don't even know what that is that you're feeling and you just keep pounding your head against the wall, it's not going to be helpful. So I use a 3-step process that I call the daily vibe check. Okay. You can use this anytime that you're feeling some kind of way, anytime poop hits the fan, you can use this, but I actually suggest using it daily when you don't need to be reactive, being proactive with it so you can be as experienced as possible when you need it. Okay. So 3 questions. Question number 1, what am I feeling? This is probably the most important question for most of us who have never done this before. What am I feeling? What am I actually feeling right now? I use something called feelingswheel.com that I think is super helpful to just name my emotions. Like 80% of the work is just naming your emotions. Question number 2 is, what does this feel like for me? Okay. If you've ever read the book, The Body Keeps the Score, you recognize that emotions are often stored in our body. Okay. This might seem a little woo woo to you, but it's a fact. Okay. It has been proven. All right. So, if that's the case, then when you're excited, what does that feel like? When you're anxious, what does that feel like? When you're sad or angry or whatever, what does that feel like? Because then you can start to recognize the connection between what you feel physically in your body and the emotions that you're feeling. So, what am I feeling and what does it feel like physically? Question number 3 is the big one. What is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to tell me in the context of my life? Right? If you are constantly feeling anxious and you keep coming to that conclusion, then you need to ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Maybe it's trying to teach you that you're moving along the wrong path, or that, you're with the wrong person, or that, you don't deal with anxiety and stress very well, and you need to improve your ability to deal with that. This is definitely teaching you something. And when you ask this question, you cannot answer it wrong, because just asking the question is enough to learn what you need to learn. So you need to be in a good emotional state. Bullshit. It's true, but let's actually figure out how to get into a good emotional state. And that's how. Okay. The final one, the final piece of bullshit that coaches say, that my hockey coaches said to me, that business coaches have said to me, and I've seen them say it in YouTube videos, podcasts, content, is you need to be more confident in yourself. You need to bust through the limiting beliefs. You need to be more confident in yourself, and you need to take action. I know every single one of you has seen a piece of content that says that in the last week, guaranteed. This grinds my gears, okay? Because how do we be more confident? I literally remember thinking, when my hockey coach said to me, you need to play more confident out there, thinking, how do you suggest I do that? How do I actually do that? How do we be more confident? Especially when we're inherently told you need to be more confident, when the evidence is starting to stack up that we shouldn't be confident, right? We're struggling, right? We're having a difficult time. And then someone says, well, you should just be more confident. Are you kidding me? That's like someone saying you should be more happy to someone who's depressed. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. And this is where a couple of tools that seem small can have a huge impact. Okay. Small hinges swing big doors, as they say. I'm going to give you two tools that I use with my clients when they need to build their confidence, instead of just saying you need to be more confident. So the first one is the brag book. Okay. I take time every day, and I encourage my clients to take time every day to write down at least one thing, preferably more than one thing, but at the very least, one thing that you're proud of. Okay. What did you do that you are proud of? The last day, the last few days, the last week? Write down something right now that you're proud of. I love the brag book because it allows you to not be humble, and no one's going to tell you that you're not being humble. Okay. The second, it's very similar to the brag book, is looking for wins. Now, I think what's most important here is that we redefine what wins are in our books. So most of the time when I ask clients, well, what do you constitute as a win? Okay. So a lot of us came from the sports world, right? And we always had the scoreboard. The scoreboard told us how we were doing. The standings told us how we were doing. The statistics told us how we were doing, right? Nowadays, all we have in business is money. And we think that the only wins are closing sales, amount of money we make, things like that. But those could come few and far between. Those are probably not coming every day for most of you. So what if we could look at wins as much smaller things, so we could really start stacking those wins and start rewiring our brain to realize that we're winning, and then to start looking for more wins, because that's what happens with our reticular activating system in our brain, is when we start to notice something, and when our brain starts to say, well, we should notice more of those things, it starts noticing more evidence. Okay. So can you acknowledge a win every time you send a DM to a prospect? Can you acknowledge a win every time you work on your number one priority first thing in the morning before you check Instagram? Can you acknowledge a win if you don't check Instagram as much for a day? More importantly, everybody should have what I call a feel-good file of screenshots and messages from happy clients who got great results, right? That you can always check back on and get some wins in your head. Okay. So what I see way too much of in the coaching industry is these statements that sound great. They get us all amped up, but when you actually think about them, they don't mean anything, and they're not helpful in any way. Coaches say things without actually backing them up on how to do that thing. And that's where I come in. The tangible, practical strategies to get yourself in a better mindset, so that you can start stacking wins, so that you can have a higher level of belief in yourself, and so that you can actually enjoy the process a lot more. And hey, maybe you'll even make a little more money from those processes. So if you liked this, if you appreciate what I just taught you, I would love for you to book a free, totally free money mindset breakthrough call. You can click the link below, and we will get on a call where we will literally dive into what is not working for you, what might be the beliefs behind that, and how we can shift and rewire those beliefs. All right. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and watch my